Huh. Well, oh man, it was ducking like Aaron Rodgers. What's that all about? Look at that impressive moves.
'Tis the season. Come up from the Sal Cave on the elevator, on the lift.
That's a whole other level of life right there, my friend. All right, okay. So it looks like we're Steeler happy right now, are we?
It's football season. I'm gonna buy in to start.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy in and hope for the best, and we will see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's been saying, you know my take. I've been nervous about this whole season, but everything's been coming along good. The hold-ins are allegedly going to play. We will see what happens.
Yeah. Well, in preseason, so every team's a championship caliber Super Bowl contender and all that jazz. But how about let's talk college sports. Did you get some college football in you this weekend?
A little bit. I went out to a fair, so I missed the big Ohio State-Texas game. But I was in Ohio at the Canfield Fair. So
couldn't hear the roaring from there.
Oh, they had the score up on the big screen at the grandstand. People were talking. Then, of course, my good neighbor Kevin, when someone yelled out what the score was, he and my other neighbor Dave did the go horns, gave the horns up. I'm like, I don't know them.
Separation. That's funny. Yeah.
I'm in Ohio. I'm not going to fight the state of Ohio over college football.
Well, the Thursday kickoff game. So, former Penn State dual threat with Drew Lars. Now he took the NIL deal and went to Mizzou. So they had their opener on Thursday night. So he got the start. Looked amazing, lighting it up. So he went to school with my daughter.
Neat.
And it's funny, the whole way through, she's like, her line was like, I was just trying to find, something I didn't like about him because he's being touted, Penn State recruit. Franklin flies in and lands in the parking lot to see a football game, all that jazz. And we've talked about that before in the pod, but just a solid kid. And I think his first pass was like a 50-yard, dropped the dime right in the guy's right in the bread basket, rolled in it. So, and had a couple of rushing touchdowns, looked really good. And unfortunately, he was duking it out, with this other guy, and the other guy had a major leg injury. So, I think based on the tape, he was in the lead as it was, but still that competition, it's always good to have that. But so that was interesting. Then you roll into Penn State, seeing some of the games, catching some different D2 schools and then high school sports. I don't know. How's your high school team rolling?
Where I teach, we are 2-0. Where I live, 1-1. Both teams are young. If they don't get a lot of injuries, we're both small schools, we're both double A schools. It can be interesting because both teams have potential. So, the one where I live, they graduated, I think, 18 seniors last year. They were undefeated into the playoffs. And then, where I work, I can't remember if we made the playoffs or not, but, they have a couple seniors, but they still have a lot of young players. And it has potential. I'm excited. It'll be a good season. And the nice thing is, where I live, they stream the games on YouTube. So Friday nights, it's been cold enough to get the fire going out back. You get fire going, put on YouTube, stream, the football games live. And then my friends that are at the football game where I work texting me. And I get the scores. How about with you?
Yeah. So, I've been out of the game for a few years now. So I think I'm on 7 years out. I had 18 years in coaching different levels of football in my school where I teach and in the city at York High for 3 years. But now, when COVID hit and they had the football season, they had to have faculty do all the different things. So me, one of our buildings and grounds guy who's a former football player of mine, good friend of mine, and then a retired teacher. So it's the three of us doing the chain gang. So I jokingly, when we have the refs come up, I always let them know, there's about 60 years of coaching on this sideline. And so we actually we give them a pep talk. We let them know, I don't know if that was the right call. Usually we average about 3 to 4 calls a game where we'll be right tackle's leaning, right tackle's moving. The guy will throw the flag. He'll go out, blah, blah, blah. He comes back and he just, he's facing the other way. He'll just whisper, good call, like good catch. So I enjoy doing that. A lot of guys that I've coached against or coached with or coached with the other team. So, but it's good to see that. But the most interesting thing is I jokingly said for 3 quarters, and actually our guest was the opponent, the opposing side of the team, but Dallastown versus Penn Manor. And for 3 quarters, they were a very infamous score because the score was 6-7. We had a missed extra point. So up until the 4th quarter, then they broke it. I said they were rolling to be TikTok famous and have their scores rolled. But the other thing I do is when I'm on the sidelines at lulls or if a touchdown score, when there's times where I'm not supposed to be focused on the game, I will tweet out, and then the conference has a different account that does so all that jazz. But yep, so football season good, but gosh, you mentioned the weather, amazing. A lot of time at the backyard with the fire pit going, and just loving life.
It's been warm enough in the day to get in the pool, then evenings campfire, and it's great. The Canfield Fair this weekend, as I mentioned. I had a little shout out to our Kevin has been supplanted as #1 fan.
Oh no!
Madeline and Ariana out at SRU, some education majors wanted to check in because we have a big show. I should say Ariana, her top billing. Oh, the Madeline was the one that instigated this. So.
Oh, there's a battle there. Now you just started a roommate feud. All right, the Slippery Rock is all clued in. So Slippery Rock, just take a look. There's some maroon and gold, but you guys don't know go up against Bloomsburg. But we got some Husky pride going here, so it's all right though. We'll allow the Rock to nest for the evening. So glad to have you here, and if you're pre-service teachers, looking forward to having you working alongside of us one day. The beards will be grayer. Yeah, good stuff. Well, listen,
I can't
so here's
get
the thing. Grayer. So we got the beards, you got your back to school cuts, the whole deal, right? And I was really thrown off today because we had off yesterday, and the kids come into school and they're like, "Mr. Verno, your slides say Monday." I'm like, "Oh, it's supposed to say Monday/Tuesday." So it's a Tuesday. I think is it a relatively important Tuesday for us?
The first Tuesday.
So first Tuesday, you're here, I'm here. Think it's time for
the PAECT Pod.
Let's roll it. Welcome to the PAECT Pod, a show for educators by educators. PAECT is a 100% volunteer-run organization that focuses on ed tech integrations in the classroom in Pennsylvania
and beyond.
My name is Eric Verno. I am the president of PAECT, and with me, as always, is my co-host
Dom Salvucci. I'm the vice president of PAECT, and I have to say something because you snuck in all sneakily some math there, doing some early math in front of the social studies teacher, kind of rattling off those. Adding up years and doing all that, those math class, doing his Jethro Bodine would say some ciphering. I believe if you put Monday on Tuesday slides, is that not a donut hole offense?
Oh, listen, this class hasn't learned about the power of the donut holes. All right, we haven't gone there yet. So fortunately, I doubt many of them are listening. A lot of formers sometimes hop on, so that's in the hush box for right now. But that could pose the whole I owe the class donuts. Okay, you're going to start right. All right,
donuts because today I turned them loose on the project. We're doing the All About Me project with Canva, and one of the students was like, "Where's the Canva? Where's the Canva link at, Mr. Sam?" I'm like, "It's right in today's folder." And he's like, "Look, it's not." I'm like, "Oh."
Oh man!
I had the assignment turned off, so the kids didn't start till I went over it, and I forgot to hit publish in Schoology. I said, I told you day one. Yeah. This is donutable. This is you'll get them later this week because they don't have time to run the Walmart today.
That's awesome. Good stuff. All right, so the donut session we got episode 86. All right, so double donuts and a single donut there. And we're calling this one Google Updates. It's the NDA Life, but NDA Lifted, and it with Judy Keller. So would that be why we got the glasses on?
Yes. Always want to look smarter when we have smart guests on.
That's right. And I think it's going to be a lot of glasses across the board, although I'm pretty sure if there was a conversation or contest for stylish, I think we'd come in last. I think that's the case. So I think we shouldn't bury the lead because for the record, this is, and how do I say it? It's not like it's the most requests like people have emailed me, but several people have been like, you need to have this person on. So Judy Keller, we're going to go ahead and kick right into it. So let's go ahead and introduce our podcast. Here we go. All right. Hello. Hey, Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Oh, you're muted. That's strange. She was totally good during the pre.
Yeah.
Were you able to hear her, Dom?
No.
What happened? I heard a click. We had like a 30-minute conversation.
Yeah. Sometimes we do the pre-show, everything works great, and then during the show, things kind of collapse a little bit.
No. Here, let me try to remove you and bring you back in. Let's go remove. Add back in. No. What's going on? All right, hop out, hop back in. See if that'll work. It's the old reset.
So you were mentioning NDAs. What is this all about?
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about this. So an NDA, non-disclosure act. So I've been fortunate enough to do some different trainings, work with some different organizations where you tend to be on that information side of things. So NDA, I have one with currently that's ongoing with Microsoft, and then one with Google. And then I'll tell about the funny story about that when Judy and I were chatting about this. And so I've said this before. I've said it just as a statement, but the reality is I was sitting in meetings where back when the Copilot and OpenAI and all that was working together, Microsoft was having meetings with teachers, asking them what they thought about the different technologies. And they would show off the different technologies. Then they would send us to breakout rooms and say, okay, what are your thoughts as an educator about this? And we were able to share like, okay, we get it, but we need to roll it out to teachers. We need to train the teachers, then roll it out to the students and talk about how that would look. And I did say that back then it was all right, so she's back.
Okay,
I
can you hear me?
Got her.
Yes.
Look at that. Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
So that's all right. Hey, it is what it is. But I was talking about just NDAs and like that Microsoft tech where they were like checking with the teachers, seeing how things are, and then they would work on creating their maps and slowly roll things out. So the funny story to bring Judy into this was we're at a PAECT event, and where I was talking to her, I said, hey, listen, I've been getting hounded by so many people. We've chatted before and schedules weren't able to work. I'd love to have you on the podcast. And she's like, oh, there's something so exciting coming. Oh, it's great. I'd love to talk about it. Oh, wait. Oh, it's under NDA. I don't know. So I go and get my phone and I pull up the email that I had that shared like that my NDA and what the information was. And I'm like, and I said, is it anything to do with this? And she's like, oh, that's it. That's exactly. So it was like, it was just hilarious where you had two people who were in essence under the same NDA, Judy, and she'll be able to share her position and what she's been doing with Google, and then me as working with a training partner. So we'll transfer it over to you, Judy. Tell us about what you've been doing. Tell us about your day job, where you're working,
okay.
And then we'll roll into the Google stuff. Go ahead.
So my day job, I am a K-6 educational tech coach at Penn Manor School District. And I work with the teachers and the students on a regular basis, and I love my job. Absolutely love my job. So,
awesome. All right.
What else did you want to ask me? What else were you asking?
So we got that your day job.
Yep.
And then how did you get connected? Because I see Google got us as your Twitter handle here. So how did we
Yep.
get connected with Google? Let's go down that lane.
So my school district got Google for Education, and we had the Plus version. And so I thought, once I started in this position, I should get certified. So I thought, okay, I'll get my level 1 certification. So I looked it up and I studied it and I took it and I passed it. And I'm like, great, I'm level 1 certified. So I'm like, all right, well, now I should try level 2. So then I got my level 2 certification. So then there's other certifications that you can get. So coach is one of them. Trainer is one of them. Innovator is one of them. And I thought, well, I should try for trainer. So when do I try for trainer? 2020. Oh my God. Because it's a lot of work to begin with. And then at that point, I was training teachers like 60 hours a week. And then I was working, I got connected with a group called Global GEG, and we were doing online trainings live on YouTube every week. And it was a bit of insanity, but I went through the trainer process, and I became a Google trainer in 2020.
Okay.
And then most recently, last October, I became a Google Innovator. So Google Innovator is a big feat, honestly. They only select 150 innovators in the world in a year.
Wow.
And I got to travel to Amsterdam and attend the Amsterdam Academy and become a Google Innovator. So
that's awesome.
Oh,
yeah, very cool.
Now, do they have you travel during the year, like the school year, during the summer? So all countries are different, so I'm assuming it's not, U.S. centric when it comes to training.
Yeah. So because there were people there from other countries. That is, like we had some from South Africa, Seoul, Korea. We had somebody from, oh my gosh, Argentina. So they're in different times than we are. Their seasons are different. Yeah. So there's not really a time.
Yeah.
So,
and I remember when they were switching over how they did. Obviously, you had your Google 1 cert, your Google 2 cert, and you paid for your different, processes you went through. And then with the trainer, I remember the old way was like, you gave your different information, and then they were switching it over to like actually, sending in videotapes and stuff. I don't know if they still do that. I remember.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And your video had to be exactly 3 minutes. Not less, not more. Exactly 3 minutes. So there was a lot of editing going on there. That was huge.
Removing all the ums and ahs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember I encouraged several teachers in our district. I said, hey, they're going to be switching it over. You want to make sure you get your information in, work on, applying for that. And we had a few that, kind of snuck in before they switched over to the newer system. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So now like the conversation that was happening, let's go ahead and lead into what are the NDAs and what the whole point of the show is.
So what's happening is they are changing the level 1 and level 2 certification tests. And when they were going to announce today, they were going to be available today, but something happened and they're going to be delayed a few weeks, I think. But once they come out, there's not going to be a fee for level 1 or level 2 for 6 months. So during that time, that's a great time for everybody to try to get their level 1 and level 2 certification done without having to pay a fee. Not that the fees are expensive, because level 1 was $10 and level 2 was $25. But hey, why not try to work towards it? And I'm excited about the new process. That what they're coming out with is something that champions and trainers and everybody had wanted it to look like, because it used to be situational. And so the tests are coming back to a situational instead of more of a multiple choice. So
And I almost feel like the older ones were more set up like almost like, gosh, like the training modules 10, 15, 20 years ago were. And it was like, they're kind of watching the screen and you got to go
Yeah.
through a certain flow of doing things. And if your process had A, D, C instead of A, C, D, like it wasn't reading it because it was more like, I don't know, and this may be the wrong phrase. It was almost like more machine learning. It only learned in a certain pattern where now I would imagine some of the workings in the back end are pulling it a little bit, dealing with some AI, dealing with the fact that it could, process things on the screen a little differently.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. And, I take it I do take my certifications, even though I don't have to, because I train people how to take it. So I will take it just so I know what it looks like. And so I have a better understanding when I'm training other people on it, so they're prepared.
Well, that's a great way of doing it, keeping yourself in the loop and helping people prepare.
Yeah, because I don't have to do those. I don't have to keep those trainings up. I mean, I do, but only every 3 years. But it's nice to actually go and do them and have a better understanding of what you're training people to, the tests they're going to take. So
yeah, no, that's good stuff, and working through it. And I know we kind of chatted about unofficially, but trying to roll some down. We'll eventually offer up some trainings for PAECT that people can kind of get, come be a part of, catch them on demand, and then be able to roll into their tests and stuff. Because even just you and I chatting, you were like, we were like making that comment about like in your district, what does Google look like in your district at Penn Manor?
So in our district, we use all the Google Workspace tools. We are Education Plus, so we do have some of the things that the free versions don't have. Like we have the YouTube videos that have quizzes in them. We have read along. We have practice sets, which are inside of Google Classroom, and not everybody has those, but we have that. And we do use, both in elementary and in high school, we do use Google Classroom. So we are pretty much full in. All of our students have Chromebooks. Some of our teachers have Chromebooks. Some have Macs, but we have a mix. But all of our students, kindergarten up, are using Chromebooks. So they are all in that way. And the students are learning. And honestly, the younger ones are learning and picking it up quick. I spent my entire morning with 2 first grade classes, getting them logged onto their Chromebooks for the very first time. And that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You need a lot of patience. And but they are so excited and they can't wait to explore and push the next button. And so if I can walk them through that process and also make them understand like how to take care of their new pet, which is their computer, and how do you feed it? You have to give it electricity, and so I take them down that path of understanding that they're responsible for that computer. And I think they get that when you liken it to a pet.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I know some of our college students, pre-service teachers watching their elementary ed. So this is good advice for them. You're talking about working with the younger grades.
Oh, I love working with them. They're so cute.
Well, and honestly, a lot of the research when it comes to training, it's backwards to our school models. The research shows, train them young when there's a lot of respect and a lot of accountability, and they're working their way up, and it'll be better. And but a lot of this, a lot of the things that are seen are at the high school level, and stuff tends to trickle from the high school down. And unfortunately, again, there's great kids and there's the kids that are just doing whatever. So you have some different issues that might happen. It just, for me, a struggle point is because a couple of things that were rolled out didn't work at the high school level, don't shut it down for the younger levels, right? But I like that base where you're teaching them about the pet. They're going to go up from the different grade levels. They're going to go to year 4, year 5, year 6, get into the middle school, and they have a different feel for it. But yeah, it just seems like it's the top flow down. And Dom, you probably see that more being in the high school, some of that scenario.
It's the same with cell phones. A lot of schools ban in the early grades. Kids never learn appropriate usage, and not to get people angry, but sometimes we're our own worst enemy, where we model bad behavior with devices. And then when you get to the high school, it becomes the Wild West, and kids haven't had that, X number of years, throwing some algebra terms out there for you, Eric, X number of years working with, compute appropriate usage. Sure. And it's hard to rein things in because they're using, technology outside of school, however they want, unsupervised and whatever. And then we're trying to get them here's how you do it right, when they've had so many years of bad learning. It's that whole concept of, if you learn the wrong facts, not only do you have to learn the right facts, but you have to unlearn the wrong facts. So if you teach them appropriately from the get-go, it makes it easier in the long run.
And that kind of ties into my Google Innovator project. So for becoming a Google Innovator, you have to have a project, and you have to have a problem in education that is not currently solved. So I had to come up with a project that I wanted to solve. And my project was social media literacy for elementary students. So I've created a website, digitalsmartkids.com. And on that site, I've created, right now I have first grade and second grade curriculum completed, but I worked with first grade classes and second grade classes to create a game. So I created a game for both of those grade levels, and they can play that game. They become digital detectives. And when they play the game, they have to figure out if something is real news or fake news. So it's super exciting. And I ended up pulling in one of my Google Innovator people. He is from the UK. He is a teacher. His name is Roddy Peters. And he is also a professional actor. So he helped me create a video that the students watch before they play the game and learn about what fake news is and how to determine if it's fake or not. So anyway,
would you be okay if we do a quick tour of your site? Pull up on the screen now. Would that be all right?
Sure.
All right. Here we go. So we're on the main page. That's got a lot of feel of some Gemini, some little AI created there. Right?
A little AI created. Yep.
We will read this out for our dog walkers later, for the audio listeners.
Yeah.
We're very famous in the dog walking community. All right.
And then Education Week did an article about my project this summer. So that was a really, it turned out to be a really cool article. So, but if you go up to the menu, then you'll see there is first and second grade. So I have those done, and there's like a story you can read, and then the video, which the detective game there's to the right, and then the actual game is at the bottom. And then there's a teacher discussion guide, and there's some worksheets, and there's hats the kids can make. And then they can also get badges once they complete the game. So
that is awesome.
The teacher can do as much as they want or as little as they want, as long as the kids, and honestly, I feel like as long as the kids can play the game and they want to play it over and over and over, that's great. So the video is super cool. Yeah. So the second grade is almost the same thing there, but I quickly learned that first graders and second graders are a lot different. When I thought I was going to make a first grade and second grade game. And then when I started playing with the first graders, I found that they liked when they got the answer right. They loved it when they got like shouts like woo and balloons went up. But the second graders, they wanted to know why the answer was right or why the answer was wrong. So then I ended up recording for each of those second grade ones why the answer was right or why it was wrong. But that's what they wanted, and they gave me feedback every step of the way, down to the last part of it. When I was right before school was out, I played it with a second grade class, and the girl said, "It'd be nice if you could make that magnifying glass give us a hint." And so I did.
Oh,
yeah,
right there, where it says clue.
Well, it's in, and each time they play part of the game and it goes to a different page, there's always a magnifying glass and they can click on it. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I mean, I'm sure that student I'm sure you've talked to them and they know it's there, and that's just they have a little part in what you're doing. That's really neat.
Yeah. So now I've got 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade to get done.
Yeah. Oh, that's all. Now you mentioned the video. Should we play the video? Is that something you wanted us to play?
Sure, if you want to. I love it. I think it's a great video.
All right. Well, no. So hopefully I set it up right in the sound. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
And this video is made with Google Vids, by the way.
Okay. Were you able to hear that at the beginning?
No
Nope,
sound.
stop playing. All right. Let's go ahead and work through, as we've done before, several moments of working through tech.
So can anyone access these, or is this specific?
Anyone can access them. They're free for everybody forever. I'm working with, actually, after that article came out, I had a company reach out to me about my project because they wanted to learn more. And it was a company that sells tech. And I'm like, is this a sales call? But they were genuinely interested, and they are trying to help me find grants for my project, which is amazing.
So the website, before we play the video, https://sites.google.com/digitalsmartkids.com/digital-smart.
You can just get there. And you can just get there by going to digitalsmartkids.com.
Okay.
It'll redirect to that.
Oh, cool.
All right, here we go. Hopefully this one works.
Welcome to Digital Smart Kids, a Google Innovator project by Judy Keller.
Hello, super sleuths! I'm Detective Digi, and I need your help. There's a mystery spreading faster than glitter at a craft fair. It's fake news. Now, fake news is tricky because it looks real, but it's not. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, and that's why we need to become super news detectives.
Welcome to the Detective Game. We're going to learn all about fake news and how to spot it. Hello, detectives. Are you ready for a super fun adventure? We have a mystery to solve, and your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find the fake news. But what exactly is fake news?
So what exactly is fake news? Well, it's stories or information that isn't true. It can be made up to trick people, make them angry, or just for fun. But it isn't funny. Sometimes it's easy to spot. Imagine a story that says, "Cat wins the Tour de France bike race." That's pretty silly, right? But sometimes it's harder. It might look like a real news story, but it's not. That's where our detective skills come in.
Let's look at an example. What if I told you about a flying pig? Look at this, a pig with wings flying high in the sky. Do you think a pig can really fly? Of course not. Pigs don't have wings, silly. That's fake news. Now, what about a talking dog? Is that possible? Here's a picture of a dog saying hello with words coming out of its mouth. Can a dog really talk like us?
Seeing videos.
Nope. Dogs can bark and wag their tails, but they can't talk. That's fake news. So how do we spot fake news? Here are some tips. First, look closely at the pictures. Do they seem right? Think to yourself, is this silly or real? If you're not sure, always ask a grown-up. They can help. Great job, little detectives. You're all becoming very smart. Remember, always think before you believe what you see or hear.
Let's get ready to play a game called Spot the Fake. Now, in this game, you'll see some news snippets, and you need to investigate to see if you can find the real news. So, put on your detective hat, because these can be tricky. So take your time. You can read the words or click the play button to have them read to you. Once you've figured out which one is real, click on the picture to see if you're right. Because fake news can look like it's real, it's okay to try again if you're wrong. Super News detectives can learn to spot the fakes. Are you ready to become Super News detectives? Pardon? Are you? Okay, then let's get started. Your first mission will be to find the sound button down here and turn it on when you begin the game. Good luck.
So he's so good. He's so good. And he also recorded other spots for me in the game. So when they level up, he comes on and encourages them even more. So
That is awesome.
Great.
That is so cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, who cares about the pod? I want to go play the game. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome. No, that's amazing work, Judy.
Yeah, but just getting kids to think that way early, I think is super important. So that's my innovator project. But I think we also have to start looking at understanding AI. And of course, I got this from Google.
Mm-hmm.
This is the foundation of AI literacy. And this is like 3 activities that teachers can do with their students. So that's super important too. And I'll have to get that link, and maybe you can put that down in the description later. Because I didn't think about it. I just had it sitting here on my desk, so I thought I should pull that up too.
We can push it out. We usually push things out through a Wakelet on a lot of episodes. I'm a little bit behind, but we'll get that.
Okay.
We'll get that out in the Wakelet.
Yeah, I'll send it to you then, because I think that's important. And it's for 2nd to 8th grade. So I just think it's important that even if we can get it into, if we can't get it in a classroom, if we could get it into a library digital citizenship thing, now's the time to start with that, because it's coming at us fast.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really, it's like you either train on it or you bury your head in the sand. And we need to train on it.
Yeah.
And all of Google Gemini and Notebook LM is available for all students now. If your Google admin turns it on, ours has. We have it for all of our students, so they have the ability to use it. Now it's, for under 18, it's run a little bit differently. It's not, it kind of guides them through a process. That's not going to do their paper, but they also need to learn how to prompt and how to talk to AI. So super important.
So going back to the innovation project. So why is it that you're creating this? What role is that playing in everything that you're doing?
It's just a passion. It's just a passion project for myself. Honestly, it's just something that I think is super important. And we can have, if I can get this information out to people and they can start using it in their classroom, and even if it just gives some kids a pause, like, let's pause, let's look at this picture a little longer. Let's make sure this is real and not fake. I mean, that's a skill that most people don't have. And I'm saying most people, honestly, my parents don't have. A lot of people don't look at it twice. Yeah.
I even made the comment the other day. We were talking about something as a family at the dining room table, and I referenced something. I said, but I'm throwing this out there because it's more of that pop culture side of life where my daughters might be more, kind of connected with it. I said, because I've seen a lot of different things, whether it be through blogs, some news channels, like as far as digital news channels, not on the TV. And I'm like, and there's some contradictory stuff. So like, I can't tell. And then, of course, the social media streaming, things of that nature, you really need to dig in to figure it out. And sometimes I'll just say, I haven't had time to investigate this. What have you guys heard? What are you hearing? And it's that conversation. It's not, hey, guess what I heard, and take it as gospel, but just have that conversation. That's even big too. Yeah.
Yep. It's super important conversation. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but our older people are getting scammed all the time. I mean, my parents did. They lost a lot of money But that's because they didn't think before they clicked.
Yeah.
So,
and even you have the scams, but then you have, as it says in the video, people just trying to divide people, and you have some of the goofy stories where on social media, I got caught up in the old professional wrestling from the 90s in the algorithm. And there'll be things pop up and there'll be pictures of wrestlers. I'm like, that's not the wrestler they're talking about. And they're doing things. But then you also have, like, when there's a tragedy, this person from either one side of the political spectrum or the other, they're out helping. The other one is wasting money in doing other things and trying to divide people and get them angry. And then you do a quick Google search and it's like, they're on tour. Both are donating money, but they're not there hands-on. And you see the true quotes from the media research. We'll cause more harm than we will help because we don't know what we're doing. But people grab these things and kind of project their own thoughts. Like, I agree with this. You're in that little silo, and people start repeating it, and it just causes issues and arguments.
And so we need to think about before we share. Like, is it real? Is it real? Should I share this? Should I?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I really need to know what's real first.
Mm-hmm. And it goes back to like earlier days, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not in the elementary levels, but a lot of it was going to your primary sources, pulling up your different information, making sure. And now I think the problem is knowing what a primary source is, because just like our team website for school, like all of our teams at school are using Google Sites. Well, the sites.google.com doesn't necessarily give away where that's being stored or housed. So you really have to, you can't just take it that, there could be URL redirects of this and that nature. A lot of spoofs are, I just had an email where they changed one letter in my bank's name to try to make me think that there was some kind of crypto thing going on. But when I looked at the email address, first, the letters don't make sense before the @ symbol, but one letter off of the actual name of the, like, oh man, that was tricky, or adding letters at the end. So there's a lot of new schemes out there that you just got to work on staying ahead of, but it's taking that time. So, and I guess I say that primary sources, it's not just elementary. We're doing it in the middle schools and we're doing it in the high schools and that, and making sure people are pulling information from there.
Yep. It's changing. Our tech world's changing. Yeah. Our social media is changing, and we have to know how to look at it and be responsible for ourselves. So I think that's what I want to do. I just want to get kids to think that extra step.
And it's not bad for adults to learn that either.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, what are you trying to say, Dom? We'll talk later. So Judy, here's my question to you. Because again, being there, going through, well, first of all, talk about, what different Google offices have you been to? Curious.
Okay. So I have been to New York multiple times. I've been to Sunnyvale. I have been to Mountain View. I have been to Amsterdam. And I will soon be going to Madrid in October. Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Awesome. There's probably another one in there somewhere, but I'm not sure.
Do you have a favorite thing you like to do when you get to a different office?
Well, I just like to see how they're decorated because they're all different. Like New York, every floor is a different theme, but there's always something crazy in all the Google offices, but they all have the kitchens, the common kitchens. And I love to see how, what access the Google employees have to different things throughout the buildings, which is pretty amazing. Like in New York, they have, you can take a cooking class. That'd be cool.
Well, that'd be real cool.
They have sleep pods. You could go, take a nap or go out on the patio and work, or, and you can go to the cafeteria and get whatever you want. And there's multiple restaurants there. You just get what you want.
Did you ride the scooters? Did you do the scooters in New York?
They have the scooters. I didn't ride them.
Okay. When I was there, I was right before the hip replacement, so I got to ride the scooter through the hall. My daughters would get mad at me when I would visit different places because I would go to the free kitchen and I would take a picture of the refrigerator that was filled with the energy drinks. They'd be like, such a jerk, Dad. So it's something I picture Dom doing for his daughter when he would be visiting those places too.
Oh, definitely.
So now-
You still do food battles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
No, they're all different. They're just all different. And when I was in Amsterdam, I didn't get to see the whole building because I was in my academy for my Innovator Academy. So we were in just like a couple different areas. We didn't get to go to other areas because we were just strictly learning and doing and creating, and it was pretty exciting.
And I've tried to take back, like looking at the different offices I've been at, not as many as you, but a couple. But where are their collaboration spaces and what do they look like? And trying to go back to my school, whether it's in my classroom or we have like commons areas, trying to model it to kind of look like that. Just like one thing I did many years ago, I took my desks, flipped them upside down, unscrewed them, was the ask for forgiveness before permission, and turned different ones into standing desk areas because I saw a lot of common standing desk tables, not desks in general, but tables where they were all meeting as a team, everybody standing, talking, coordinating, like little things like that. So has there been anything like that that you've taken from any of the offices that you've tried to use?
Not me in particular, but I do have some of my elementary teachers that have gone there and done some really creative things where where the teacher has gotten rid of their desk, but the desk is still in the room, and there are these really cool stools that are around the desk that students can sit at and collaborate at. And then they also have some desks that they have white tops on that students can use and mark up. And they'll have I want to say like a sleep pod, but more or less like a reading nook that they can go sit in. So, and then they switch desks on a regular basis. So they're not always at that one desk. They switch. So it's a new and an exciting area to learn every day. So I love that. But I have quite a few of my elementary teachers that have taken that on, and that is really exciting for the students. And they're engaged.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of new and exciting, with all the things coming down the pike with classroom tools, the different education levels, what are is there one thing? Is there a few things like that you've kind of pulled that you're really excited about? And when you're teaching teachers, you might see that wow factor or like their face light up. What have you seen? What have you felt?
Well, recently Google Vids came out, and Google Vids is something that is new, and it is available for everybody that has Google for Education. Actually, even if you have a Google account, you should be able to pull up Google Vids. So you can actually create a video. It's very similar to Google Slides, where you create a scene and then you can add music to it. It's got a whole library of images and GIFs and videos and all kinds of things. And if you have the Gemini add-on, which I do, I can actually take a Google slide presentation that I've created already, and I have notes in it, and I can import that into my Google Vids, and it creates a video for me right from that slide deck. It uses those words, and it will auto-generate those words for me. So how crazy is that, that after I present something, I can take my slide presentation, put it into Google Vids, and turn it into a video overview for the teacher to take with them. Pretty cool.
That is great.
The key there is to make sure you have text in the notes section. That's
Definitely.
That's like
Yep. Because I don't always, but now I'm making a point of doing that.
Yeah.
Because why not? Why not?
Right. Yeah. Yep. And I know even our tech director, when they put out like, here's what's coming up, it's we used to spend so much time dressing up the whether it's a Word, whether it's a Google, dressing up that document to be able to email out. But now sending the email with the podcast using Notebook LM, the fact that they can create that, people can listen to it as opposed to reading the paper, or in my case, printing it, getting it lost in a pile on my desk, kind of a deal. An audio ability.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's like with Google LM, I do that when we have the discussions and stuff. We take the notes in class, put it up on the big board. I push out through Google Drive, shared folder. Here's the notes we talked about in class, the discussion. But then I grab it, and we've talked about this before. I know Keith has done work. He's done some Google LM mini talks on here. I put it out as a podcast for the kids, and I showed them, if you're an auditory learner, you can listen to it. You want to look at the notes, here they are, but they play over top of each other. So you see if you miss class, here's what we discussed. Here's an audio version. They're not listening to me. They're listening to other people have a discussion. So it's not me lecturing to them. And you get that overlay and explain to kids. You can push that out through, if you're having trouble reading, take your book, upload it, see how that works. Maybe it works, well, maybe it doesn't work for you, but these are tools we can implement to help kids that struggle or kids that don't have time. I have a 20-minute drive to work, so I really can't get into too many podcasts or whatnot. I hate commercials on the radio or one bad song, and I'm at work. But some people have longer drives. You can process this information through these tools, whether you're a professional, whether you're an educator, whether, whoever. It helps you out. It just makes life easier if you know how to use them appropriately.
It does. It makes it really easy. And now coming soon, teachers will be able to assign Notebook LM or a gem from Gemini in Google Classroom to their students. So I'm excited to see what all that's going to look like on the student side. I mean, I just imagine creating a gem. And if you don't know what a gem is something that you create inside Gemini, which is Google's AI. And it's like the beginning of a prompt. So it's like tell a little bit about myself first. So I'm going to tell about myself and what I do. And then, for instance, I created one for my social media platforms because I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on all these Blue Sky, all these platforms. So I have 5 different platforms, and they all have different character lengths, right? So I tell my gem that I've created a tutorial on something, and then I have it help me create a post for each of those platforms, and it does. And then I can copy paste and I can edit those to fit my needs, but at least I know where my character count is already, and then I can throw them out there. So that has saved me so much time. And I can imagine just differentiating work for students. Just think about a student that has an IEP. You could create a gem based on that to differentiate work for that student. And even recently, at the beginning of the year, I did some trainings with my teachers, and I showed them how to actually code in Gemini and create games for students, and then embed that code into a Google site, and then the students can go on and play those games. Like maybe it's just something that they do, go on and play some of my math games I created, and they can go on and create some of those math games. And so even if they're just going on and they're playing games. Yeah. But they're educational games that are related to the curriculum they're learning in the class. So now maybe come testing time, that might play a role in.
Can students have access to create those codes in those games too? Or is it only on the teacher side?
I think that they can, but I would have to double check. I don't know.
At the high school level, I've had kids who
I'm pretty sure they can.
Are very good at coding. I always offer side quests. And I myself am very, I'm a novice level coder. I'm drag and drop block coding, some minor other things. But since that's a bit of a difficulty for me, I'm not that adept with it, and I don't have the time really to sit down and focus on it with everything else going on. You could push something like that out, hey, here's a side quest. We have this. Can you create this game? You're going to draw kids in to work on a skill that they might not be that keen on history, but they like coding. Yeah. Make me a game, show it to me, make a copy, embed it. They get credit for it, but it's drawing them in. And for them to understand the history, they have, to make the game work well, they have to understand the history so they can multitask, and they're learning while they're creating something.
And they're loving it.
Made for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And then maybe you look at it and you say, hey, this is great, but now let's see if you can do this. Like challenge them a little bit more and get them to, have that conversation with AI and get and make their game even better. Yeah. So I had at the end of the school year, I had a teacher that said, hey, I have this slide presentation, which was like a choose your own adventure kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'd really like to gamify this. I'm writing this for the curriculum for science. And it was about pollution. And so I took that slide presentation, I put it in Gemini, I prompted it, and it created a game for me like right away. I embedded it in Google Sites and I liked it, but I didn't love it. So then I went back and I tweaked things. So within a half hour, we had a game about pollution, and it was very similar to Oregon Trail, which I'm sure you guys know. Everybody else might not know what Oregon Trail is, but we all do. So it was like an Oregon Trail game, but it was about pollution. It's about saving trees. It was about conserving your water. It was really a cool game. So now it's done. It's in the curriculum, ready to go.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's really cool. And like, kind of like how Dom's saying it, how you're sharing it, like, I don't know, like what blogs 15.0, like, blogs on steroids, however you want to say it. Like back in the day, it was like, hey, you're writing for the world. People are going to see this. Well, now they're taking that content and they're getting to that higher level of SAMR. They are creating things with it. They're utilizing AI to help to, get through some of the barriers, the coding, the different things directly. They've still got to make sure that the information goes along with the curriculum and what's being taught. And then this is being produced. The student can share that with you. You're creating a Google Sites that kids are allowed to go on to. They can pick different games they're playing. They can give their thoughts, kind of like that girl who said, it'd be cool that you had the magnifying glass. Students can also suggest that. Like it's just an amazing level, but the power is, Judy, frankly, just your embracement of it, right? Obviously you're doing that, you're teaching that culture, and you're, affecting a lot of people in your building, in your district, in the way that they're looking at it, as opposed to the alarms, the doom and gloom, right? Yeah, that's awesome. That's neat what you're doing. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great to like show, like I went to some of the faculty meetings and I showed our building days before school opened. And I showed them this, and I said, I know you guys have heard a lot of tech. I don't want to overburden you, but I just want to show you what you don't know. And when you're ready, reach out and I'll come help you. But I just want you to see this. This is possible to do. And I had a teacher reach out to me who I would not have thought of would have been the teacher to reach out to me, and was so excited and started creating games and created her site and put these games up on the site. And day one, she's using them right off the bat. I did not expect this from this teacher, but she's doing amazing things.
That's awesome. That is super cool. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. So now we're coming off of the AI excitement, the Gemini excitement, classroom tools, and listen, don't miss out on Chromebook use, gang. Chromebook adds a little spicy element to using those classroom tools. Just want to throw that out there. But I think Dom has some important questions to kind of close out this interview. Oh, wait, he's got something else.
I want to circle back because we did skip two important questions.
We did mention Oregon Trail, so circling back is okay.
Yes. And although I know I look rather young, Oregon Trail came out after I got out of high school. So I was like, in my teaching phase when it was out and about. Judy, you are a PAECT member. How long have you been involved in PAECT, and how did you get involved?
Well, I want to say I got involved in 2019, but it might have been before that. I got involved through Sue Allen, who's a friend of mine that we always roomed together at Pete and C, and Then I became a KTI star in 2022. So
Nice.
that's how I've gotten involved. And then I'm serving on the board for South Central. And that's where I got started.
And
awesome.
you are a valuable member. We appreciate you being on the pod. We appreciate you being a member of PAECT. And what he's talking, Eric talks about, and I agree with him, the smartest person in the room is the room. And you're just a stellar example of how membership of PAECT makes our organization stronger, and how, the sharing of ideas. For someone who isn't that good with coding, who isn't immersed in a Google school, to try and come up with this, probably isn't even going to come up with half these ideas. But, having someone like you pick your brain, use some of the resources, talk with you, it's invaluable. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, after the accolades, we come to the 2 mandatory questions.
Butter her up. Now let's go for it.
Yes. Okay. So, and I think you've already explained in very detailed fashion your educational superpower. But if you can wrap it up into a concise little package with a bow, what would your educational superpower be?
So I think my educational superpower is connection. So I connect educators to ideas. I connect classrooms to the world, and problems to solutions.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very, I like that.
I would have needed AI for that. Judy did.
You would need a gem prompt to get you going there.
Yeah.
That was very eloquent, concise but eloquent, which is hard to balance. Now, the hard one. If you could have any superpower in existence, in the comic book realm, literary realm, movie, general science fiction, or even one that doesn't exist yet, what superpower would that be?
Okay, so I thought about this, and we kind of talked a little bit about it earlier, but I thought that my superpower would be to grant others a digital sixth sense.
Ooh.
To allow them to instantly recognize online scams, identify fake news, and understand the truth behind privacy policies. It's a little deep.
Wow.
Hold on, let me take the mic off so I can drop it. Like that's wow, that's good stuff. I like that.
I just want people to actually look at privacy. I know they're horrible. Look at privacy policies, but understand what they're clicking on. Understand it.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I always tell my teachers
on that one.
I have to scroll.
Yeah. Because honestly, even if I wanted to read that print, I can't see that print. It's too small. And I got contacts and readers, and
I tell them if it's free, you're the product.
Yes.
And I think we need to think about that. If it's free, you're the product. So they're not giving it to you for free for no reason. Think about it. What are you giving them?
My students, and I get other people angry. I'll be like, they'll be on their phone playing a game. I'm like, so you're making money for other people. What this is, you're working for others. You're playing that game. The longer you stay on, there's all these ads. I'm like, you're making them money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that, and with that point being said, that's the important part about you got with Google, Google for EDU, your Google EDU, your different levels, because we're education, the way the data privacy works is a lot different than if I'm just using it free on my Gmail account.
Yeah.
Right. So they're keeping stuff in house. So some of that's limited. So there's safeguards in place with that. But when a child goes out and creates just a random Gmail account and they're utilizing some other stuff, that's the whole thing where they give you Gmail for free. For what reason? Because they wanted to use don't delete any of your emails. I wonder why they want all those emails sitting in there. So they could sift through it and learn about all the spam, all that jazz. So that's a good point to say that you are the product if it's free. And then there's Gemini's very safe, Copilot on the safe side, OpenAI. But I know in the news was Perplexity was one that kind of came on board. Then it come to find out all that information was being sold in the back end. You got to watch out for that stuff. You got to be very careful. And yeah, it's just because it's the latest, greatest, and new and free doesn't mean you jump on that trail. You want to make sure you're researching it a little bit. So I like that. That's a good superpower.
That's what I want. And
I love
just one thing before we go, though, I want everybody to know I do have a YouTube channel called Google Goddess, and I do a lot of tutorials on there. So you can go there and check out my tutorials. They're a lot of them are called short and sweet. They're less than 5 minutes to show you something you might not know. So check it out.
I'm typing away.
Yep.
To get that set. So yeah, I appreciate that. That's good. So the two sites that we talked about, we got digitalsmartkids.com was site number one that takes you to the grades 1 and grade 2. Grades, you said 3, 4, and 5 are on the way.
On the way.
Site, yep. And then the YouTube site, we got www.youtube.com/Google GOOGLE Goddess GODDESS. And if you head there,
go into YouTube and Google Goddess.
Yep.
You will find her.
Nice. Yep. Good stuff. Well, long overdue. We truly appreciate you being here. We truly appreciate what you're doing. And again, even though you're working with one district, the reach you've had through the Google, different things that you've done there, through PACT, at Pete and C with your sessions and everything that you're sharing, just amazing stuff. Thank you for all that. Yeah.
Yep. So.
Yeah. So very cool. All right, and
soon to be the western side of the state.
I got to work on that. She likes the eastern side. We got her over here, Dom. It's okay.
Yeah, but I'm a huge Steelers fan, Dom. You know, I have two dogs named Bell. Unfortunately, Bell and Kiesel. So
nice.
We buried the lead. I knew I needed to kick her off a little sooner than that. Oh man.
No.
All right. Well, then we'll talk to her about Aaron Rodgers later. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
That's it. Out. Yeah.
Extended football talk today. Love it.
I know. Extra. Not even brought on by us. We can't get in trouble this time. I like it. All right. Well, truly, thank you, and everybody be on the lookout. I think we're going to try to set something up again as those certifications will reopen. With the new format, the new, free for the 6 months, we'll try to push some things out through PACT, whether it be a South Central event in person, whether we do some things online, but definitely look forward to that. So truly thank you for your knowledge, for what you're sharing, and then your willingness to work with our organization. So thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you, Judy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Have a great rest of your week. All right.
Take care.
All right, man. I tell you, it's the keys to success. Invite smart people on, let them have those conversations. Just makes the pod look better.
You gotta love it.
Yeah, she does an amazing job. So there's definitely a reason why
we're being told multiple times. Sue, she appreciates it.
Good stuff. I like it. All right, man. Well, we're an hour in. Just to do a quick shot of what is happening with PACT, just to go over the quick calendar for September. Got a lot of great stuff going on. Let me zoom that in. All right, so we got PACT is going to be at Pittsburgh Pirates, bringing up that Pittsburgh time again. We got the Educator Exhale with Northwest PA on the 11th, so 6 p.m. Let's go ahead and click into that. And we got, where is this going to be held?
That is up in Clarion.
All right, so up in Clarion. So, Dom, if you go, you can only have salad. It's saying it's a salad bar, so you're only allowed to have salad. All right,
okay.
So Dom,
I like salad. You can put French fries on salad from Pittsburgh.
Well, that's the Pittsburgh way, right? All right, so we got the PACT. We're going to talk about the first days of school wins and surprises on the 16th. We got our virtual board meeting kicking in on the 17th. PAECT at the Iron Pig. So this is northeast, cranking out up near the area. So tickets are $5 for premium, $10 for free members. So you want to make sure you get your registrations in. So, we want to make sure you get your seats set up. So they're going to be playing against the Syracuse Mets. All right. And then rounding out, we've got from scroll to self-control, power up with Common Sense's new curriculum. Word on the street, it is brand new. Speaking of another NDA, Mary Gruber is going to be getting the information out there. So she's been sharpening her tools in the back end, learning about a lot of the new things coming out. So it looks like we got it. We got to fill those seats, people. We got one registration so far. So that is going to be on September 25th, a little earlier, 4:15 to 5:30. So you might have to catch that from your classroom, but make sure if you use that in your school at all, this is going to be huge. You're going to get a lot of good information there.
Common Sense is a great resource. Mary is very knowledgeable in what she discusses.
Yep, just going through here. This wasn't on September 16th. Workflow to avoid a wild school year. South Central's got that going on 7 p.m. on Zoom.
With
All right, so that
this Saturday coming up.
Yep. So that looks like what we got rolling on in PAECT. A lot of amazing stuff.
Next episode we have coming up in 2 weeks. We'll talk about, I know October's going to be jam-packed with events in PAECT. A lot going on. So keep checking the calendar at paect.org. Go to paect.org. Check out the Glide Show. We have the calendar at the bottom of the page. Check out the pod. We talk about these things. If you have ideas or you want to be a guest on a pod, please, please, please reach out to us. pod@paect.org. Any ideas, other people, if you don't want to be on, but you have someone you know that's doing something great and would like to have them on, let us know.
Yep. And if you have your favorite podcast, whatever you're using to listen to the podcast, if we're not there, let us know. We'll try to make sure we're there. We want to be everywhere our members are. So we truly appreciate you being here this evening. So, Dom, we are
the voice of EdTech in Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
Let's thank our sponsors.
PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors. Our Tier 3 sponsors, EduSpire, Tech the Next Step. Our Tier 2 sponsors, ClassLink, more time learning, less time logging in. Teachers First.
Lego Education. Toddle, teacher built, AI first, more than an LMS.
Once again, PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors for the support that allow us to do what we do. Thank you.